What is happening, everybody? It's Fun Friday. Freaky Friday? I don't know. I got to set my window permissions. We're going live. This is an impromptu live. Just going to hang out and do some stuff today. We're going to talk about the world. We're going to talk about WordPress. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to do all the things. We're going to hang out. If you want to chat, drop a question in the old chat box. And we can chat about things. I'm going to pull up my screen as soon as I get these permissions to work here. It's asking me to restart Brave, and I don't want to do that. Right, let's just do this one for now. Cool. We're going to hang out today. Just going to talk about some stuff. Fun Friday. Fun Friday. You know what? Let me start with some productivity stuff. I bought a Mac Mini for my desk because I don't want the laptop on the desk anymore. It causes way too much stress. Laptop, cords, take the laptop, go to the other office. I'm working at my home office today. This is not the studio. And I tell you, it's been a welcomed change to productivity because there was something about just having a messy desk. Can you relate? Can you relate? Let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from too. It has been a godsend in terms of productivity to get my desk cleaner. And the Mac Mini, I'm not even sharing it. I thought I had it shared up on the screen. Oh, because I'm only sharing this tab. Let's adjust that. The Mac Mini is really nice. I mean, I don't notice this massive, well, it's certainly not more powerful than my laptop. It's just the M4, the basic M4. Or I think I had the M3 Pro in my laptop. And I bought it refurbished because that's what you do. You don't pay full price for a Mac. You buy it refurbished. This thing won't let me share my entire screen. That's annoying. Without restarting. Without restarting Brave. And I can't do that because we're live streaming. All right, let me pull up this other browser, go back to this. So let's just talk about WordPress. Let's kick it off with WordPress. I have a few things I want to just throw out into the world. If you're a WordPress person, pulsewp.cc. This is an app that I built with Replit, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. Replit. It covers all the news. You've seen me probably talk about this in the past. So let's just go through. Let's see what some of the news is that we're tracking here. Jetpack, how to add schema markup in WordPress. WP Beginner, how to get a virtual WhatsApp number. Patch Stack, WordPress hosting performance promises and security realities. The repository, let's jump into this article from the repository. Ray from the repository. Let's view the original. WordPress.org plugin submissions surge 87% amid rise in AI tools, with the plugin submissions up 87%. AI tools playing a bigger role in development. The WordPress plugin review team is evolving its process to keep pace without compromising plugin review or quality. Less than a year after clearing their backlog and bringing wait times down, the WordPress plugin review team is facing a new challenge: volume. Plugin submissions have nearly doubled, driven by the rise in AI tools and developer eager to put them to use. In a post published Wednesday, David Perez, a hosting or sponsored plugin review team contributor, described, you can't even see this on the screen because I'm sharing just this tab. Stupid permissions. See if I can fix this without having to do these, without having to reboot. Let me pull up another browser, just see if I can share directly to Safari. Say hi if you're in the chat. Let me know what you're up to today. We're just going to hang out and talk. We're going to talk about WordPress. We're going to talk about AI. And talk about why we do the things we do. Nope. It's not going to let me do it. That's a big fail. All right. We'll go back to doing this. We'll pull up Ray's article one more time. Share screen. According to Perez, the spike began in September 2024 and has continued steadily into 25 with sharp growth in plugins offering features like chatbots, virtual agents, content generation, e-commerce, SEO, multimedia generation, and translations. Behind the scenes, the plugin review team has worked to keep review times low and submission quality is high. As previously reported by the repository, the plugin review team faced a massive backlog of 1,260 plugins waiting for review. Following the departure of longtime rep Mika Epstein in July 23, developers were told to expect a 91-day wait time for initial review. I do remember that. By October 24, Perez shared on X, the queue was down to 0 with wait times of 7 days. I wonder if we used AI to speed that up. This is interesting. I got a lot of thoughts around AI, as I'm sure many of you do as well. On one hand, I'm like, oh, this stuff is amazing. On the other hand, I'm looking at it going, it can't even do the most simplistic things. But everywhere I read, every YouTube channel I tune into, every podcast I listen to with some of the world's biggest venture capitalists, they're saying we're all doomed. And I'm looking at it going, I get it. I get where we want to go with this stuff, but I just don't see a lot of this like solving even the most basic things. We'll test that in a little bit when we go to do, we'll vibe code in a little bit. Hang out, we'll vibe code. Let's pull up another tab here. This is going to get old. Back to pulsewp.cc, shall we? What else do we have? Let's go next article. That's the other way. So we go previous article. Matt Mullenweg settles caregiver lawsuit days before trial. Another one by the repository. I won't read that whole one like we just did the others, but if you've been following this, the host of lawsuits that have been evolving around Mullenweg, then I urge you to check out this this article by Ray at the repository. WordCamp EU 2025 Contributor Day call for co-lead and supporters. The article announces an opportunity for experienced WordPress professionals to volunteer at Contributor Day during WordCamp Europe, scheduled right around the corner, June 5th. I'm not going. I know a bunch of people who are going. If you're going, let me know in the comments. Look at this. So here's an interesting thing. If I'm going through previous articles, why are we not showing the, oh, that's WordPress.com. Okay. What else do we have? Cost of goods sold, how to defer off-screen images to WordPress, the power of kindness, power of automatic. Power of kindness and the power of automatic. Let's read this article. Oh, this is just a piece about a case study. Gotcha. We won't read that article. This is a good article written by Eric Karkovac from the WP Minute. Let's pull this one up. Don't be shy if you're in the audience. Go ahead and say hi. Let me know what you're up to. Good old Eric Karkovac poses the question, what do AI site builders mean for freelancers? Being a freelance web designer often means dealing with disruptions. Sometimes it's a client who needs a new feature built ASAP, but it can also come from a shakeup in the technology we use. Artificial intelligence has undoubtedly been a disruptive force. It has upended our workflows and made some of us wary of its presence. Are these apps here to help us or replace us? That's a fantastic question, Eric. Perhaps AI site builders are the most cringe-inducing tools of them all. They claim to take the guesswork out of website creation. You don't need to know code or how to pick a font pairing. Provide a few details, and you have a functioning website. Several companies have released AI-based site generators. .com is among the latest. Our own Matt Medeiros, hey, that's me, took it for a spin. He chatted with a friendly chatbot that wanted to know more about what his website needed. Within minutes, he had a website powered by WordPress. These tools are producing keyword right there, are not producing top agency level websites just yet. Maybe they're a novelty for the time being, but they'll improve. With that comes the worry of their impact on freelancers. Will our potential clients choose a bot over a seasoned expert? Let's explore what AI site builders could mean for the future of freelancing. Do they signal the end of an era, or are they just another tool for the DIY crowd? I want to just announce that I just wanted to announce this. Sorry, a question coming in. I forgot I have this chat comment on stage. What the question that came through is, why is it so hard to stick the nav bar header in WP 2025 theme? Because it doesn't have that as a feature. That's why. At least not to my knowledge, but we can take a look at it. We'll take a look at what 2025 does in a second. It's a fantastic question. But it's probably something that you're going to have to custom code. Yeah, back to these AI site builders. This article written by Eric Karkovac. I'll throw this in the chat so you can link that up. Yeah, I think here's where, like, I'm optimistic for the future, but also, like, looking at this going, these things are still not there yet. And I think that's just part of the cycle. And it's part of it is like understanding how early on we are. Part of it is like your typical hype bubble on anything new, especially in tech, whether it's NFTs or AI or 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was page builders in general, right? Like Elementor, and really seeing rocket ship growth back then. And everyone was just excited for it. And it was just a hype cycle. We're living in that now, but it's just like 1,000 times more because allegedly these things are super capable. Allegedly, we can do some really powerful things. Not allegedly, I'm building stuff that I've never been able to build before with, straight up JavaScript code. It's really cool. But I still think we have this delta of the average user isn't seeing any of this stuff. The average, like, let's just say website owner, right? Especially if they're a small business, they aren't even touching this stuff. They don't even know it. Number one, they don't know what's happening. They're not paying attention to it. And they're certainly not learning it. And I would say that for all the same reasons why I struggle with more intermediate tasks with AI, they're going to struggle with that as well until, I guess, these AI things get better. I guess what I'm saying is I think we have a few years. I think we have a few years before this stuff is what I'll call like one-click worthy, like just super, super easy and just solves the task for you without any concern. I still think that you'll have this gap of the person who doesn't do it. There's also the debate of like, will websites exist? I saw somebody tweet the other day, which was really interesting, that there's a rise of gated content, right? Whether you have to like pay for it, let's say like Substack, or any like platform that you could put a payment gateway up to get content. I mean, you could do this with WordPress. And I know everyone is just like, AI is going to just take over everything, and AI is going to get all your content. AI will just come up with the content. You don't even need to make content anymore. And the biggest challenge I have with that is, I think what you see is maybe a natural pushback from humans to say, oh, you know what, maybe we don't want that content to be ingested by AI, right? I mean, look what Google did with our content, and now look what AI did by taking our content, which Google stole from us, and is now, incorporating in there. I've been doing a lot of like searching on ChatGPT for search results just to see like how these things are being indexed. Yes, Adam. Adam says AI slop face currently. I 100% agree. I've been looking at a lot of ChatGPT search response, and of course, I'm no SEO expert, but like I'm looking at responses that ChatGPT is giving back to me, and it's like literally making up URLs, like URLs. Like it knows of a site. I don't want to expose like the searches I've been searching for, because this is top secret stuff. But when I'm searching for certain things to see how ChatGPT is responding to, let's say, my competitors, I'm getting responses of fake URLs, and I'm like, what? You're not even. And when you click the link, it's just 404s. I'm like, what's happening here? I thought this stuff was so super smart, but you're just like making up URLs. You're guessing that another website has this slug with this search term. That's what we're doing. So I'm having this internal struggle of understanding whether or not I even believe the content I'm getting back. Now, is it because it's like an onion with different layers? When it comes down to WordPress stuff, it doesn't really know the market, which is still like baffling to me. I think I vented about this on my Matt Report podcast, which I've been quietly bringing back and sharing with the world, which is just exactly that. It's a way for me to vent and get back on the microphone. But it's like, I don't even believe this content that's coming out that ChatGPT is serving up to me. And is WordPress too down a rabbit hole that ChatGPT hasn't learned it, or maybe any of these other LLMs? Is ChatGPT only working for the most broad things, like, I don't know, how to cook a steak or how do you make the best cheeseburger? But even that is probably just fed with SEO content. I'm just really struggling with, when I tune into the hype cycle of all these really smart and wealthy people who are ahead of the curve on this stuff, telling me that I'm missing the boat if I don't like learn this stuff, but then also like literally using this stuff day to day, going, this is shit. What is this? So anyway, that's the internal struggle that I have with that. Totally got off topic, but that's what Freaky Fridays are about. Is it Freaky? No, Fun Friday. Fun Friday. That's what it's about, to talk about some of this stuff. So check out that article Eric wrote. By the way, Eric hosts the WP Minute. Every 2 weeks, he puts out a short form podcast. That's what this post was all about. Eric puts out this post every 2 weeks, or not this post. So he puts out thought-provoking posts like this one. What do AI site builders mean for freelancers? He covers a lot of the freelance and small business stuff here at the WP Minute. If you search for the WP Minute in your favorite podcast app, there's 2 WP Minute podcasts you will find. You will find the one hosted by Eric. I look like I have to switch this cover art to use Eric's face right there. You can follow the short form one. And then there's the long form one where I'm interviewing folks in and around the WordPress space. This particular podcast, quite the lineup that I've had this season. But starting next week, Monday, which is a holiday for those of us in the US, and because I'm a great marketer, that's when I'm going to launch a new podcast. It'll be hosted by Kurt Von Onen and Toby Crines, two chaps who are running WordPress sites, WordPress agencies to varying degrees. And they'll be doing a short series on just that, about running a WordPress agency. I really want to go back to helping those of you who are running WordPress agencies. And I enlisted these two guys because they're doing it. They're friends of mine. they're doing it, and I wanted the real world stuff to be out there. Like I didn't want to talk to you about WordPress agencies because I haven't run a WordPress agency in 10 years, roughly, right? And I wanted it straight from the horse's mouth. So look forward to that whole series coming up starting on Monday. You don't have to do anything different. Just search for the WP Minute and subscribe to both podcasts, WP Minute, WP Minute Plus, and you'll get all of that amazing content. Let's go to the chat right here. Aaron Ware, good friend of the show, puts in the MCP link to WordPress. And I can't click on these, right? Because it just doesn't let me do it. But thanks for sharing that one, Aaron. Yes, if you're into AI and you're into like seeing where this future is going, that is certainly going to help. Ashim asks, or no, he just says, ChatGPT made up URLs in my search just recently. Yes, this is a thing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that that this is what's happening. All right, what else can we pull up? What else can we chat about, at least on the WordPress side? Oh, I know what I want to talk about. First of all, let me get this banner to stop. Here's what I want to talk about. Hold on. Let's pull up Canva. Oh, I got an idea. Let me load up this video. How come I can't find it? Downloads. Oh, right here. You. All right. Hold on. All right. So over on the YouTube channel, the YouTube podcast channel, I had a friendly debate with a friend of the show, Mark Szymanski. And here's the intro clip of that. But first, let me just do my sound because everything's still messed up. As you know, I just got this Mac Mini and we're still not done, obviously, setting it up. So let me just make sure my sound setting is going through these. Beats Pro. That's going through my Mac Mini. I think you all can hear this. You must do the work. You must get to a point where doing the work is so painful that it's breaking you, and then, and only then, can you hand it off to someone else. What do you think about that?
What do you mean? What do you mean by painful?
Here's the thing, Mark. As I watch you from the sidelines and I watch you flourish and flounder, both.
You gotta have both. I'm not perfect. I understand that there's multiple ways to delegate, some better than others. And then once you do that enough times and you realize that, okay, I understand video editing to a degree, now it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Can I get somebody else to do it? But
I think you're trying to just like you overanalyze yourself and maybe over-optimize yourself in some areas.
This is the problem, is you've given me counter advice. Because there's a podcast that I put out with Nick Saraiv, and your advice in that was don't just sell. which was my thought process to make money.
Check out that video. I just linked it up in the chat right there, over on the WP Minute Podcasts YouTube channel. Yes, there's a second YouTube channel, and it's When to Delegate. You can check out that video. Mark and I had a candid discussion about his new thoughts on delegating the work, and I was sort of challenging him to figure out whether or not he was ready, if he was ready for that. So let's go back to my idea. Pull up my Canva. Let's just use this. Okay. So here's this thing that I want to do. I got to share my screen. Remove at the stage. So here's the thing that I want to do. I don't know if that's, why is it not? God, everyone must just be like, what a terrible host. This freaking thing. Okay. WordPress thriving. So I've been thinking about this. I obviously went to PressConf. Those of you that follow me know I went to PressConf. PressConf, amazing event. Definitely check out year 2 when it happens. Hosted by Raquel and team. PressConf.events. One of the things that I wanted to get back to the essence of talking about the good things around WordPress. And there's so many things, and I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. This little initiative that I want to create. We had a WordPress marketing team. I think those of us who have been in the WordPress space kind of know what happened with that. It's not happening, right? We had this other experiment, which recently shut down, the WordPress Media Core initiative, started by Josefa, and then piloted by Reyes Martinez after Josefa left, and then Reyes left, and it floundered, and now it's gone, officially sort of shut down, right? Huge opportunity, I'd say, for .org and Automatic to build relationships with media folks like myself and others who cover WordPress. In the face of AI, like in the face of just like also so much, I hate to use the word drama, like so much WordPress drama with people pointing fingers and some people, trying to, build a different solution or build a whole new community or build a whole, political committee around WordPress. I thought to myself on my flight back from PressConf, like, how about we just start with talking about WordPress in a positive light? Because whether you agree or disagree with what's happening, at least for the next 6 months, WordPress is part of your career. It is part of what puts money on the table for you. And what I want to do is start an initiative, the WordPress Thriving Initiative, or I might not even use WordPress might just call it Thriving, because I don't want to get sued. So I might just call it Thriving, the Thriving Initiative. And it's going to be very simple. And if you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, I would like to get involved, this is just off the top of my head. I haven't planned this out at all. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. The WordPress Thriving Initiative, or just the Thriving Initiative, is a meetup, an idea, I think it needs to at least be a collection, and I'll be the person to kind of like spearhead this idea. But the idea would be to, let's just generally agree that if you're going to be part of this thing, you can still disagree with like leadership, direction, features, where an icon is placed, how CSS is generated, but you understand the value of WordPress thriving. Okay? That's the rough surface area. And I propose a quarterly meetup, a quarterly initiative that everyone sort of pitches in with their thriving position on WordPress. So here's the first example. Quarter one is why WordPress. So if you want to be part of this, here's the challenge, and we'll loosely start this right now. But please DM me if you do this, or message me if you do this. So why WordPress? Why WordPress? Why do you use WordPress? Why is it great for you? Why is it great for customers? Why should somebody use WordPress? Okay. And we all have 90 days, 1/4, to do this. It could be a blog post. It could be a podcast. It could be a YouTube video. It could be a tweet. It could be a LinkedIn post. Any piece of content that you create that answers why WordPress, I want to know about. And this is what I would call a very scaled back initiative for helping people understand why they should use WordPress. Why should they use WordPress for their enterprise solution? Why should they use WordPress in the face of AI? What I want to do with the thriving effort is to allow us to just agree that we need this thing to keep going, and let's highlight the positives. I will restate it for those who like to freak out. You can still have your concerns. You can still be disagreeing with how Gutenberg is being built or how slow things are. Or now we're down to one release cycle. Fine. But understand that the foundation that most likely your business is built on is paramount to the success of WordPress. So loosely, starting today, May 23rd, in 90 days, we'll revisit this. I'll collect everyone's why WordPress posts, blogs, podcasts, YouTube videos, and we'll showcase this on the live stream, and I'll do a summary roundup of blog posts. But what I want to hear from those who still rely on WordPress is their pitch as to why they should continue to use WordPress. You know, we'll start like building out some stuff in Replit in a minute, just because everyone's into vibe coding and stuff like that. And yes, that's super interesting to me these days, like being able to build these apps. I'm still really worried about like the sustainability of all this stuff in the future. I want to know how WordPress is going to survive in this AI time. But I also see a world where there's something with having, like I can build these Replit apps as I've done, a handful of them. But then what? Then it's just left to, like, nobody's maintaining it right now. I have to go and maintain these apps. I have to go and think about new features. And sure, there will be agents that run in the background and do this stuff for me in the future. Agents will run in the background and do this stuff in the future. But I'm hopeful that WordPress is a collection of humans that care about this piece of software, that we get something better than the automated agent that runs in the background, right? If I can turn to, which will probably be like WordPress.com in the future, if I can go to WordPress.com, like I can go to Replit.com and build my own bespoke JavaScript app. If I can do that same thing at WordPress.com, I want to know that there's like a collection of human beings that think about how AI builds these sites and what features that goes into the code of WordPress, right? Because what does open source mean in the future? Is it even a thing? Right? Is that idea, that concept of open source code still exist? Does the concept of code still exist, right? Like React, JavaScript. Like these are I'm not a developer, and I think everybody knows that. But these concepts of whatever, coding frameworks, React, JavaScript, this is PHP, Ruby on Rails. This is all code that was developed so humans could read it and understand it and write the code and put it together to make it do a thing. But do we get to a point with these LLMs and coding apps where it doesn't even need that stuff anymore? Like, would it be more efficient if there was just some coding language that ChatGPT used that was way more efficient because it's only a computer that needs to understand it? So like code base be damned, it just has like ones and zeros again in the back end, and you don't even like you can't human read the code, but it's just way more efficient for AI to build what it is that you want. Like, is that the world that we're moving in? Mark Szymanski, friend of the show, asks, is this AI video generated? There's this video AI generated. And he also says some people are saying cooked to a crisp. I don't know about that. So that's a heavy thought. But what I want from the Thriving Initiative is why WordPress. Give me your why WordPress. Tweet at me, DM me, use the contact form on the WP Minute. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back for some more stuff. See if I have something that I can play.
The point I wanted to make about process is that if you
Nope, that's not the one I wanted to play. Let's play this.
You told me right now, Mark, sit down and do whatever research you need, ChatGPT, other creators, other people, other whatever, other resources, and build a very good system to hand off to one of these people for whatever it would be. I would take my experience, I would take other people's experience, and I could guarantee you that I could build you a solid ass system. There's no reason to start from zero anymore. There's just none. There's zero reason. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect by any fucking means. I'm also saying that it's like, it almost sometimes sounds like it has to be perfect. It's not even like possible. It's not going to ever be perfect. It's absolutely not going to be perfect from the start, but it could be like a good baseline. Where the real skill, I think, comes in is like managing expectations with whoever you delegate. Like, hey, this is the process right now. I'll always communicate this with you, but it's probably going to change as we continue to realize like, oh, we didn't really account for that last project. Let's make sure we put that into our process moving forward. That type of shit.
You gotta excuse young Mark. He does swear a lot. He's got a sailor's mouth, but he means well. Let's go ahead and do some vibe coding. Let's go ahead and do some vibe coding. Go ahead, if you're in the audience, say hi. Is that music too annoying? I need music, man. When I'm by myself doing these live streams and I don't hear anybody, it's tough. Troy, let's see what he says. Because it's intuitive, and if properly curated, it can be a welcoming experience for content creators while providing all the tools developer needs to just about anything they want. Troy, I think you're talking about WordPress. And yes, absolutely. I 100% agree. All right. Let's do something. I'm using Replit. I found that Replit is the best solution for me because everything in-house. Database, user authentication system. I think I've talked about this on the channel before. And the mobile app. I will tell you that this is the biggest threat. Mark Zamansky, vibe coding using voice input, full experience, no typing. Game on. Game on, Mark. Let's do it. Let me share the screen. Thanks everybody for being here. What? Why is it this guy's face again? Get that out of here. I will tell you one of the biggest threats, like when I think about the biggest threat to WordPress, it's not even the like code, like I can build anything with, let's say, Replit versus, WordPress, but the Replit app, which of course I've logged out of right now for some reason. Let me log back in on my phone. This is the unsung sort of the silent killer of attention and ease of use, because I can begin to code my app, which we'll do here in Replit in a second. And then I can walk away, and on my phone, which you're not going to be able to see in this tiny little window, the Replit app is probably one of the best apps I've ever used in terms of like usability and productivity. It's you would think that it's going to be like this quirky experience. It is freaking good. And that's what makes me scared for WordPress, because I can be at my son's basketball practice and I can just be building apps, and I can go back to the apps I've built and like flesh out ideas and build out, small little features while I'm on my phone. And like all the power of Replit is in that app seamlessly. That's the thing that makes me worry the most for WordPress. Mark says zoom in if possible. Man, I don't know if that's going to be possible because I am not using any Mac peripherals right now, and it makes it tough. Makes it tough. I can do this, but I don't know if that's really zooming in. It's more like making it bigger. All right. Here's how I start out a vibe code. Here's what I want to do. And your idea is welcome. I want to build a content calendar, a public-facing content calendar. And Mark wants me to do it with words, voice. Okay. So I'll use this app, which you're not gonna be able to see because it's not gonna pop up, because I can only share one stupid screen at a time because I didn't restart. But I'm gonna use this app called Whisper Flow, WISPR Flow, Whisper Flow. I want to build a React-based app using Tailwind and Shad CN for the UI. This is a content calendar that allows me to share public calendar links to share on social media so that my audience could see the roadmap of content that I have coming. The calendar will be simple, good looking, and intuitive. The user will be able to filter the different content types to see the different content types across the calendar. and it should have a database and user registration so that I can create calendars for multiple users. Here's the prompt. Okay. This is content calendar allows. We're gonna hit start. You know what I like to do? I like to say, well, yeah, I like to say, it's going to ask me anyway, but ask me any additional questions that you need to clarify. I'm typing, I know, before you write the code. So Replit usually does a pretty good job of prompting before the whole thing is created, right? So it says, I understand you want to build a content calendar app with a public sharing capabilities. It's a fantastic idea for content creators to engage their audience, upcoming content roadmaps. Before I create the comprehensive plan, I'd like to clarify a few key details. So let's see. Content types. What specific content types do you want to support? Calendar information for each content item. What details should be displayed? Title, description, content, publish date. Public calendar features. Should the public calendar be read only? Allow any filtering? User and sharing feature. User roles. Do you need different user roles? Admin, editor, viewer. Public links. Should each user be able to generate one public link? Monthly. These details will help me. Adam says you didn't say thank you. Troy says, or please. You are correct, gentlemen. Content types I want to support are blog posts, videos, podcasts, social media posts, webinars. For calendar information, just title and description and content type is fine. For the public calendar features, allow filtering of content types for public viewers. I don't need any user roles at this time. Yes, for each calendar, you can create a public view. All right, let's see what happens. We can see that Replit called it, name this app Content Roadmap Pro. App type, modern web app, integrations, Postgres, SQL, Replit off. These are two things that I've always found that Replit fails at. Even though I tell it to, it doesn't always do it. React-based app. Would you like to add any of these additional features? Drag and drop calendar editing, implement content scheduling with notifications, calendar export, include content analytics. Just approve. It's one of the new things that Replit does is it sets up this preview. And it's a preview that you can't interact with, cannot, as it's building it. But it gives you the idea of like what's happening. It's funny that it used the December 2024 as the start time. I did forget one tip that I usually add is to make the code as modular as possible. And we'll see, I guess, in a moment once these files are generated. Because oftentimes I've run into issues where it's like the coding file is just, or coding file, the primary app file is just like thousands of lines long, and then you're forced to vibe code your way out of that, right? And reverse engineer it and start to ask it to pull out like core features and break it apart. So let's just see. Still building out, obviously, a lot of this stuff. I think I mentioned this before. They just initialized, or allegedly, I don't know. They said that Replit would have all of the Claude 4.0 enhancements that came out yesterday. That's the other thing. Let's go to the face cam while we wait for this. You know, you see these. Speaking of hype cycle, like we were talking about before, it's like whoever goes last during the week wins. Like I think back to the years ago when Apple sort of like dominated the Tuesday, like Tuesday being the day that Apple would announce everything Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern or something like that, or 12 p.m. And you'd have all like the journalists go out there and like it'd just be a big thing. Like Tuesday, you knew it was coming. Then like all businesses started doing stuff on Tuesday, and it was just like, oh, the best time to do emails are on Tuesday. So like everyone just like follows suit with Apple. Now it's just like you freaking every AI company. If you announce something on Monday, you're screwed by Friday. To the point where like now the hype cycle is going to be like the best time to let your customers know about your new feature is going to be like Sunday at 3:00 Eastern. Mark asks, what's your content calendar look like? Yeah. Let's go back, man. Like this is it's creating the home page. I did that. Public calendar grid. I still can't interact with this because it's not done yet. Fairly sizable amount of stuff so far. What's going in the shared folder? The schema, Replit auth. I shouldn't have said the Replit auth because I think that's just going to extend this even longer. I should have added the Replit stuff later. Let's take a look at the database. Yeah, it's still doing that. Oh, there it is right there, just in the nick of time. So it created the database, but it's making all the tables now, I assume. The share modal, and it's going to help me create that share URL. Content colors. I'm assuming I'll be able to edit these content. This is the thing that is still maybe not talked about enough is this stuff still takes time, and which is hilarious, right? Because we're waiting a few minutes here and And we're already saying things like this is taking forever. This is this crazy expectation. Well, all I can picture right now is like huge swaths of the Amazon rainforest being burned because some idiot near Boston, Massachusetts wants to make a content calendar app, which he's probably just going to delete and throw away. Oh, how about that? I made a homepage for us. So it's envisioning like a complete end-to-end like product marketing site too. Plan your content, share your vision, create beautiful content calendars and share them with your audience. Keep everyone informed about your upcoming content across all platforms. Visualize or visual calendar, public sharing, smart filtering, view demo, get started. All right, built complete content calendar with database integration, added user authentication with Replit. I just no way this is going to work. I guarantee this isn't going to work. Added public calendar sharing with custom links. Your content flow app is ready. I wonder why it called it Content Flow. Oh, because it changed the name of it to Content Flow when it was Content Roadmap Pro before. Huh. Sign in to create and manage your content calendar. Add content, item, titles, filter brand. Would you like to test the app by signing in and adding some content? All right. So my initial thought is it's not going to work. And I won't be able to register a user. I'm clicking sign in, nothing's happening. Get started for free. Oh, there it is. Okay. You can only log in with your account in the preview window. Well, that's going to mess up the stream because I'd have to keep sharing this window. Let's see, get started for free. All right, let's just do this. I'm signing into it, but I can't log in. Oh, I have to sign in with this. Hold on, let me do this. You're not seeing it. I do apologize because I screwed up some stuff before. I'll share it in a second. No, it's not letting me sign in. What if I'm going to ask it to shut off auth, see what it does. Can I just do it right from here? Nah. Can we remove the Replit auth features? I'm typing. Let me take it away. Can we remove the Replit auth feature and have basic sign-in form for now? Boy, I just want to see this calendar, see if it works. I was trying to wrap up this live stream within an hour. All right, let's see if it successfully pulls out the Replit auth feature. man, it is beating up that schema.ts. Implemented a basic username and password. I'll create the simple authentication system. Always check your code and try to at least understand what's happening. What tables do we have? So we got users, sessions, public calendar settings, content items. This looks like a really simple database. Let me create a simple authentication system. Let's go. Let's go, AI. Burn those trees. I need a login form. It's terrible. I understand you want to simplify the authentication. How many times are you going to say that? Let me create a basic username and password sign-in form. I just wanted to see if that... How big is this app file? Not very big. Login page is being made. Public calendar page, home page. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, what's this? It's going to give it to me this way. Oh, there it goes. And it's gone. Just like that. It comes and it goes. Simple username and password. All right. Replace the complex authentication system. App now shows a login screen. Your content flow app now has a much simpler authentication system. Would you like to create your first account and start adding to your calendar? I do. Sign up. Let's see what happens. What? It's literally not letting me type. It's literally not letting me add an email. Okay. Cool feature of Replit, besides that not working, is the inspect button feature. Select it. I could change that stuff, but I'm not going to do that. The login form is not letting me enter in my email. These are the things that a Mark Szymanski would do, which is just like talk the most simple line. But I'm doing it because he requested it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot longer than I anticipated. Password. Here we go. We're almost there. We almost had it. Man. How many how many times can it tell me it's seen the issue with my input field? Nah. Still not working. Let's just see what happens if I do it without a email. Let's just see if it works. I'm unable to type an email address in the enter your email field. This vibe coding stuff, man, woo! It is going to take over the world. So many developers are going to be out of a job because of me. Well, Matt, make better prompts. I know, but isn't that what AI is supposed to do for me? I see the issue. The email field is only visible when you're in sign up mode, but the form defaults to login mode. Already have an account? Sign in. Need an account? Sign up. There we go. So like right now, normally I would say we need to redirect that, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. Now it won't let me type in the password. Must be 6 characters. It's not even letting me type it in. All right. The password field is not letting me type in any characters. Was it successful? Let's take a look. Users. There's no users added. So how the heck is just storing it in sessions? No. Overview. Oops. Overview. Users. No rows. It never even registered it. Pull up the console. Message is unauthorized. Was it unauthorized when I tried to sign up? Let's try it again. Since my name is not in the database, create the account. Account created. You can now sign in. Test 1, 2, 3. Still not letting me type in the password. It's amazing. This stuff is amazing. 2 more users. The user's not even registering. User isn't. All right, I'm going to give it one more shot here, and then we're going to call it because the user registration form is not actually registering a user. I'm not seeing it registered in the database. And when I go to the login page, I'm unable to type in any characters to the password field. New element editor. Visually select and edit elements. For those of you still here, what's your favorite vibe coding app of choice? Cursor, Windsurfer, Replit, bolt.new, lovable. Something else? You're absolutely right. Perfect. You're absolutely right. Perfect. You're absolutely right. Let me fix both the user registration database issue, the password field problem now. All right, this will be the last attempt, and then I'm going to call it. Nope, we're back to the same problem. Troy says cursor at the moment. Well, hopefully you're having better luck than I am. Yeah. We'll pick this up. We'll use this as the base of our next live stream. Continuing on with Content Roadmap Pro. Until then, thanks for hanging out today. This was not really successful on the vibe coding front. You developers out there, you're safe for at least one more day. Let's just take a look at some other stuff here. User auth. Login. Where's the user? Yeah. None of the stuff is properly documented either. Your jobs are safe for another day, at least from me. Anyway, we'll pick this up in a future episode. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out today. Don't forget the WPminute.com/subscribe is the #1 way to stay connected to all the things that I do. Join the newsletter if you're a WordPress freelancer or professional. And we'll start going into the throes of AI, of course, on the next episode. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you in the next one.